I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so I have...
You haven't reviewed all of the Epstein files?
Personally, no.
You're the director of the FBI. This is the largest sex trafficking case the FBI has ever been a part of. Buck stops at the top, and your testimony today is you have not reviewed all the files.
A bomb exploded in the conference hall. Eric Swalwell, a Democratic congressman representing California, turned to FBI Director Kash Patel and asked, "Have you reviewed the entire Epstein file?" The answer was shocking. Personally, no. Hold on a second. Remember who this man is. Kash Patel, the director of the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, the country's highest-ranking law enforcement official, the man with access to millions of files, thousands of agents, and unlimited resources. And before him lies the biggest sex trafficking case in history, Jeffrey Epstein. Hundreds of victims, dozens of powerful names, politicians, billionaires, princes, academics. Hidden cameras, private islands, private jets, child abuse. One of the darkest pages in American history. And the FBI director, the man at the head of this case, hadn't reviewed the files. Personally, no, he says, as if he were talking about an ordinary pile of documents. It's as if it's an unimportant file. Swalwell's reaction was sharp. Responsibility lies at the top. The buck stops at the top. This phrase is very important in American politics. It's been used since Harry Truman. Leadership means responsibility. If you're in charge, you're responsible for everything. You can't hide behind excuses. And Patel's statement today? I haven't examined it. How is this possible? How could the FBI director not review the files of the largest sex trafficking case in history? Was he busy? Did he have other things to do? Were there more important files in front of you? Or perhaps he didn't want to examine them. Perhaps there were names in those files he didn't want to see. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing, because Swalwell's questions are becoming even sharper and Patel's answers are becoming even more suspicious. This is just the beginning.
My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not to engage in political innuendo so you can go out to the sticks and get your 20-second hit in your fundraising article.
This is precisely where Patel's true colors come out. His mask slips. What does he do when faced with a tough question? He goes on the offensive. He accuses Swalwell of chasing donations. Take your 22-second clip, he says, as if Swalwell were asking these questions just for social media. This is a classic defense mechanism. In psychology, it's called aggressive defense. Attack the person asking the question you can't answer. Change the subject. Distract attention. Instead of defending yourself, blame the other side. But note, Patel still hasn't answered the question. How many times does the president's name appear in the files? No answer. Just attacks. Just accusations. There's only evasion. And his saying, "My job is not to engage in political implications." This man is the FBI director. His job is to uncover the truth, to bring criminals to justice. If a name appears in the files, whoever it is, even if it's the president, saying so is not a political implication. It's telling the truth. It's doing his job. But for Patel, telling the truth becomes a political implication. Revealing the facts becomes a political game. What does this tell you? Doesn't this show you what the FBI has become? Liking the video helps spread this content. The algorithm looks at your engagement. A like, a share, means this information reaches more people.
Director, remembering your oath to tell the truth, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Swalwell reminds him of his oath. Remember your oath to tell the truth. This is an important reminder. Lying in Congress is a federal crime. Perjury carries a prison sentence. Patel is speaking under oath. Every word is on record. Every sentence is a historical document. And the question is very simple. Did you tell the president that his name was in the files? Patel's answer is interesting. I never spoke to the president about the Epstein files. Note, the question is, did you say his name was in the files? But the answer is, I never spoke about the files. That's not the same thing. It's an evasive answer. It's an indirect answer. It's answering without answering the question. A lawyer knows this technique well. They tell their client, if you can't answer the question directly, talk about a related topic. That's exactly what Patel is doing. But Swalwell is also a lawyer. He knows this game. Then Swalwell asks about the prosecutor. Did you tell the prosecutor? What does Patel say? We had numerous meetings with the prosecutor. But that wasn't the question. The question was, did you say the president's name was in the files? Yes or no? A one-word answer is sufficient. Patel doesn't answer. He says, we had meetings. He says, we conducted investigations. He says, our team worked. But he doesn't give a simple answer to a simple question. He doesn't say a single word. This is no coincidence. This is deliberate evasion. This is a planned strategy. And this strategy shows he's trying to hide something.
Question has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt.
Guilt consciousness. Swalwell uses this term deliberately. It's no coincidence. It's a legal term. Consciousness of guilt, an important concept in English law. It means that someone's behavior, evasiveness, inconsistencies indicate guilt. It can be used as evidence in court. Patel says, the question was asked and answered. A classic evasion, a typical politician's move. But Swalwell corrects him. You didn't answer. Clear, sharp, accurate. And then that critical sentence. We will take your evasiveness as a guilty conscience. This is a serious accusation. Very serious. A member of Congress addressing the FBI director on the congressional podium in front of cameras, on record, says, your evasion shows a guilty conscience. These words go down in history. Think about it. If Patel were innocent, if he had nothing to hide, if there were nothing problematic in the files, why would he evade so much? Why not give simple answers to simple questions? Why sweat? Why get aggressive? He's hiding something. It's clear. Swalwell saw it, Congress saw it, the cameras recorded it, and now you see it too. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. This kind of content is often suppressed. It's hidden by algorithms. Your support is critical for spreading this information.
You've played this cute shell game where you say you can't release everything because the court has said that it legally is not allowed to be released, but the court calls bullshit. Judge Richard Berman said that when you went to the court, quote, information contained in the Epstein grand jury transcripts pales in comparison to Epstein investigation information and materials in the hands of the Department of Justice.
Swalwell completely dismantles Patel's entire defense here. He takes it apart piece by piece. What was Patel's excuse? The court won't allow it. We can't legally publish it. Our hands are tied. That's what this administration has been repeating for months. Same answer every time they're asked. The court ruled. There's nothing we can do. We'd like to, but we can't. But Swalwell lays out the truth. The court itself says this is nonsense. The court Patel is hiding behind is actually contradicting Patel. What does Judge Richard Berman, the federal judge overseeing the Epstein case, the person who knows the subject best, say? The information in the grand jury transcripts pale in comparison to the information the Justice Department has. What does this mean? It's very simple. The Justice Department has tons of information that even the court hasn't seen. There are massive files, and this information isn't being released. It's being kept secret. It's being hidden. Why? They said the court was blocking it, but the court says, what we have is nothing compared to what you have. The real information is with you. So the excuse falls apart. There is no court block. The Justice Department could release it today if it wanted to, but it doesn't. It chooses not to. It deliberately hides it. Swalwell calls this a shell game, a street hustler's game. 3 cups and a ball. You know which cup the ball is under, but you keep moving it around so no one can find it. You're deceiving the spectators. You're distracting them. Here's Patel and this administration doing exactly that. The court won't allow it, they say. The court says, we don't have anything. The real information is with you. The FBI investigated. There's no list, they say. The FBI director says, I didn't investigate. We released everything, they say. The judge says, you didn't release it. Every time, another excuse. Every time, another escape. Every time, another lie. But the truth remains. The Epstein files are being hidden. Someone is being protected. Let's look at the big picture. Let's put all the pieces together. The FBI director is testifying under oath before Congress. The head of one of America's most important institutions is answering to the people's representatives. And what do we learn? First, he hasn't reviewed all the files. The biggest sex trafficking case in history, hundreds of victims, dozens of suspects, and the FBI director hasn't read the files. I was busy, he says. Busy with what? What else could be that important? Second, he doesn't know how many times the president's name came up, but somehow he knows it's not that many. That doesn't make sense. It's a contradiction. It's either a lie or negligence. Third, he won't answer simple yes/no questions. Did you tell the Attorney General? No answer. Yes or no? No answer. Use the alphabet? Still no answer. Fourth, he hides behind the court excuse, but the court itself refutes this excuse. Judge Berman clearly states, the real information is with the Department of Justice. Swalwell's assessment of guilt consciousness is spot on. This much evasion, this much uncertainty, this much inconsistency, this much aggression, these are not signs of innocence. They are signs that something is being hidden. There are over 250 victims in these files. Children were abused. Young girls' lives were destroyed. Families were torn apart. And these files, these names, are still being kept secret. Who is being protected? Why are they being protected? Which names are so powerful that the FBI director cannot answer simple questions? These questions demand answers. But what we see in Congress is this. The FBI director does not want to answer, or cannot, or there are names in those files too big to answer. And this silence explains why justice, which the victims have been waiting for years, has not come. Swalwell dropped the bomb. Patel's evasiveness, inconsistencies, aggressiveness, silence, it's all on record. In the congressional transcripts, history will not forget this moment. And maybe, just maybe, this pressure will finally work. Maybe public pressure will increase. Maybe the files will be opened. Maybe names will come out. Maybe the victims will finally see the justice they deserve. But for now, what we have is this. The FBI director couldn't answer simple questions in Congress. He dodged the most basic questions. He evaded, attacked, accused, but he didn't answer. And that silence speaks louder than 1,000 words. If you want to follow these developments, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every new piece of information, every new revelation, every new development will be shared here. Check out the recommended videos on the screen. Both are critical pieces of this massive cover-up.